Over the years, you've sometimes referred to me as something of a father figure.
Did I? I didn't realize that.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 father figures in movies and TV.
The next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother. I promise.
For this list, we'll be looking at the top father figures in film and on television, all in one video. First, we got the greatest dads, mentors, and or caregivers on TV, and we're leaving off animated ones. Stick around after the first 10 for the movie dads. Which small screen dad do you wish was yours? Drop a comment and let us know. Number 10, Ron Swanson, Parks and Recreation. Ron Swanson, aka Duke Silver, aka The Steak Man, was the breakout star of Parks and Recreation.
But Indianapolis is home to Charles Mulligan's Steakhouse. The best damn steakhouse in the damn state.
Yet it wasn't his love for breakfast foods and disdain for the government that made him so lovable. Ron really did care about his co-workers. He mentors his assistant April, who he convinces not to quit even after she accidentally scheduled 93 meetings in one day.
Well, I don't want to come back. The end.
I was talking to Andy about you, and he made me realize that I need you back at work.
What did he say?
Don't recall.
Fine, I'll come back.
Good.
He supports Andy's decision to take a women's studies course and awards him a scholarship to pay for it. Ron may show little to no emotion, but he is a big old softie when it comes to his quirky staff.
So I don't want to see Andy waste his time in college. Of all my co-workers, he is one of a small number whom I do not actively root against. There I go, getting all sappy.
Number 9, Din Djarin, The Mandalorian. Din Djarin may try to come across as a rough, tough bounty hunter, but he melts at the sight of Grogu. And who can blame him? Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, is adorable. Initially, Grogu is Din Djarin's bounty, but he decides to go on the run and protect the little cutie instead. Din Djarin is probably the best dad in the Star Wars verse, as he changes his own life to do what's best for his charge.
Stop touching things.
From teaching Grogu not to press random buttons in his spaceship, to training him as his foundling, Din Djarin is one caring father. He's not the perfect dad, but that's what makes this Mandalorian so relatable.
Then I will adopt him as my own.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Number 8, Giles, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Rupert Giles may not have initially wanted to be a Watcher, but he did end up becoming an excellent one. He accepted his calling and helped train Buffy and the rest of the Scooby Gang.
I'm Mr. Giles, the librarian. I was told you were coming.
Great. So, I'm gonna need perspectives on 20th century...
I know what you're after.
Giles provided them with the intel they needed to take down all those pesky monsters. Yet, Giles goes above and beyond the duties of your typical librarian.
I don't know what to say.
Tell me about it.
She has no idea.
No.
While he didn't love Buffy at first, he later embraced her. He wasn't crazy about Buffy's vampire beau, Angel, but agreed to work with him.
Sorry, coming from you, that phrase strikes me as rather funny. Sorry to bother me.
I need your help.
And the funny keeps on coming.
I understand I have no right to ask for it.
But the most fatherly action of Giles was to leave Buffy so she could embrace her own responsibilities. Number 7, Joel Miller, The Last of Us franchise. It's one thing to try to save a teenager. Smuggling someone across the United States during a global pandemic where the infected are basically zombies is a whole other story.
What are you doing?
Killing time.
What am I supposed to do?
I'm sure you'll figure that out.
Yet that's what Joel Miller does for Ellie, the one person immune to the virus. The two go from apprehensive strangers to being each other's surrogate family. Joel eventually calls Ellie his baby girl, and Ellie makes him laugh with her signature puns. Like any father and daughter, Ellie and Joel do get into fights.
Listen,
Why are you here?
I came here to talk to you.
No way, you're still here. If you're gonna ditch me, ditch me.
But their bond is the heart of the series, both in the games and TV show. Number 6, Captain Raymond Holt, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Captain of Brooklyn's 99th Precinct, Ray Holt shows virtually no emotion.
Everyone, I'm your new commanding officer, Captain Ray Holt.
Speech!
That was my speech.
Short and sweet.
We can understand his reserve, given that he was New York's first African-American gay police captain. Despite his stoic nature, he does care about his detectives. Holt is less than impressed with his underling Jake Peralta's antics, but thanks to Holt's mentorship, he does mature. When his sophisticated husband mocks Holt's co-workers, he stands up for them.
You're the one who's been acting terribly tonight. You've been curt and snobby with my guests. You've been needling poor Peralta so much you practically made him a new suit.
Needled him a new suit. Even when we're fighting, you're hilarious. Stop it. Stop it.
By the end of the series, Holt tells Jake that if he had a son like him, he would be proud. Excuse us, we need to go find a few tissues.
If I had a son, and he had turned out like you, I would be very proud of him.
Thank you, sir.
Number 5, Jim Hopper, Stranger Things. Hopper, aka Hop, is first introduced as a bitter cop who misuses alcohol, but all that changes once Eleven enters his life.
Now, what do we talk about? Dinner first, then dessert. Always. That's a rule. Yeah.
Yes.
Rather than leave Eleven to fend for herself in the woods, he takes her into his cabin, where he even makes her favourite dish, Eggos. When Eleven had to close the gate of the Upside Down for good, Hopper was right there with her. He can be overprotective at times, but hey, that has dad vibes too. He eventually goes from father figure to official dad with her adoption. We have to give a shout out to Steve Harrington as well, who also has dad vibes as he watches over the kiddos.
You're not falling in love with this girl, are you?
No.
Okay, good. Don't.
I won't.
She's only gonna break your heart and you're way too young for that shit.
Number 4, Eric Taylor, Friday Night Lights. Tammy Taylor, the wife of coach Eric Taylor, often complains about how the football players at Dillon High can get away with practically anything.
Got yourself a heck of a quarterback.
He's a good boy. Very proud of him.
While football is almost worshipped in the town, Coach Taylor does hold his players to a moral code. He suspends one athlete for using steroids, which, come on, was totally the right thing to do, and expels another for insubordination.
Though fine doesn't win playoff games. You out here to win, or you go home, understood?
I was just doing what I'm told.
You know what? Don't talk back to me. You talk back to me, you think you're special, you can talk back.
Although Coach Taylor is tough, his players do respect him. Since he's the closest thing many of the players have to a father, they treat him as such. And Coach Taylor is more than happy to fill that role for them.
Every man at some point in his life is gonna lose a battle. He's gonna fight and he's gonna lose. But what makes him a man is that in the midst of that battle, he does not lose himself.
Number 3, Uncle Phil, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
After an accidental run-in with gang members in Philadelphia,
Will moves in with his aunt and uncle in the affluent LA neighborhood of Bel-Air.
It is amazing. You certainly have grown, Will.
Well, we all have.
With his street-smart Philly attitude, Will clashes with his stern Uncle Phil on multiple occasions. But despite their differences, Will and Uncle Phil do love each other. Uncle Phil proves just how much he cares about Will when he stands up to Will's absentee father.
Cut the crap, all right? Cut it! Because I've been there. But I didn't run out on my family. I was there every day for them, because that's what a man does.
Fine, Philip. You win.
And after Will breaks down, Uncle Phil is right there to comfort him.
How come you don't want me, man?
He's the uncle we all wish we had. Number 2, Eddard Ned Stark, Game of Thrones. While Ned wasn't with us for too long, he was by far one of the most honourable characters on the show.
And which one of you was a marksman at 10? Keep practicing, Bran. Go on.
Don't think too much, Bran.
Despite Jon Snow being his bastard, supposedly, he treated him as he did his other children. Due to this acceptance, Jon was able to have close relationships with the other Stark children.
This is no toy. Be careful you don't cut yourself.
You're so skinny.
So are you. I had the blacksmith make it for you special.
We later learn, of course, that Jon is not actually Ned's son, but the son of Ned's sister. Ned took Jon in to protect him from the current king, who would otherwise have killed him to protect his claim to the throne.
You have to protect him. Promise me, Ned. Promise me.
Oh, Ned, you were taken away from us too soon. Number 1, Mr. Feeney, Boy Meets World.
The power that teachers have over their students is often underestimated.
It's undeniable, though, just how much of an impact Mr. Feeney had over Corey, Sean, and their friends.
You see, Mr. Hunter, once the integrity has been breached, even the strongest fabric can unravel. Even the strongest friendship.
He was always there to impart wisdom, all the way from their grade school years to college.
He even makes a few cameos in Girl Meets World.
Well done, Mr. Matthews.
Topanga compares adult Corey to Mr. Feeney, one of the greatest compliments she could give. Considering his importance in their lives, it's only fitting that Mr. Feeney gets the last line.
I love you all.
Class dismissed.
Now, let's dive into the most supportive, wise, and devoted pseudo-dads in films. No biological dads or animated daddies this time. Spoiler warning ahead as we explore their backstories. If we missed your fave big screen father figure, don't forget to share it in the comments. Number 10, Haymitch Abernathy, the Hunger Games franchise. When Katniss and Peter are first reaped for the games, they discover that Haymitch Abernathy isn't exactly the best mentor.
Embrace the probability of your imminent death.
As the victor of the 50th Hunger Games, Haymitch overdrinks to deal with his trauma. At first, Haymitch offers little to no help to his newest tributes.
Nice shooting, sweetheart.
But after Katniss tells him to get off of his butt and, actually train them, he becomes their biggest advocate. Haymitch secures the sponsors and supports Peter's declaration of love for Katniss. Ironically, as the series goes on, Katniss and Peter become parental figures for Haymitch. Without Haymitch, it's doubtful that both Katniss and Peter would have survived the games.
And you've come to what? Ask me to die?
I'm here to drink.
Number 9, Yondu Udonta, Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. Neither Yondu nor Peter had an easy childhood, so it's fitting they became adoptive father and son.
Let him go! Oh! You always did have a scrum, boy!
Upon realizing that Peter's life is in danger, Yondu kidnaps him from Earth and kept him as his own son. Since Peter didn't know this, he resented Yondu. It also didn't help that Yondu kept threatening to eat him. In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Peter did learn that Yondu was trying to protect him from his father and the other Ravagers.
He may have been your father, boy, but he wasn't your daddy.
Peter makes up with Yondu, who sacrifices his life to save his son. In a heart-wrenching scene, Peter finally accepts Yondu as his old man. Dang, Marvel, why do you keep making us cry?
Sometimes that thing you're searching for your whole life, it's right there by your side all along.
Number 8, Norman Thayer Jr. on Golden Pond. Norman Thayer Jr. is a right old curmudgeon.
What are you, a couple of nitwits? Think it's funny being old?
In all fairness, his memory is slipping, so he decides to spend his time telling his wife about death. Yet when his daughter visits him along with her fiancé and his son Billy, Norman's life takes a turn for the better. While the pair don't get along at first, Billy and Norman quickly bond over fishing.
There's a trout. A rainbow trout. Get going, boy.
They are particularly obsessed with catching Norman's rival, a fish named Walter. Having a fish rival is strange enough, but the fact he's named Walter somehow makes it work. Through their attempts to capture Walter, the two end up forming an endearing friendship. By spending time with Walter, Billy learns a lot about himself and about the complexities of life.
He wasn't yelling at you, you know.
Sounds like he is yelling at you.
No, he was yelling at life.
Number 7, Charles Xavier, X-Men franchise. Professor Charles Xavier, aka Professor X, is more than just the founder of Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters.
You're in my school for the gifted, for mutants. You'll be safe here from Magneto.
Under his training, mutants learn how to control their powers, a skill needed here on Earth. He's also not just respected by his students, but gradually becomes a respected ambassador for mutant kind.
Through Cerebro, I'm connected to them, and they to me.
Xavier's fatherly love inspires his students like Logan. In Logan, an aging Wolverine takes care of Xavier, now suffering from amnesia. He also protects Laura, a young mutant who isn't too different from Logan himself. Xavier isn't always perfect. Over the course of the series, he makes some poor decisions, but in the end, he does try to do what's best for his kiddos.
This is what life looks like. A home, people who love each other. Safe place.
Number 6, Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell, Top Gun Maverick. The rare case where a sequel may be better than the original, the heart of Top Gun Maverick is between Captain Pete Mitchell, aka Maverick, and Goose's son, aptly named Rooster.
You gonna wash me out? That'll be up to you, not me.
Maverick still feels guilty over the death of Goose. He even made a promise to Rooster's mother to ensure that Rooster would not become a pilot, which Rooster resents him for.
I saved your life! I saved your life! That's the whole point! What the hell were you even thinking? You told me not to think!
On top of that, Rooster also blames Maverick for his father's passing. Yet, as the film goes on, Rooster comes to respect Maverick's unusual teaching style, and all that Maverick's done for him. The climax proves just how much Rooster cares about Maverick.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Goose.
Number 5, Alfred Pennyworth, Batman franchise. Honestly, where would Bruce Wayne be without Alfred Pennyworth?
I miss him, Alfred. I miss him so much.
So do I, Master.
After Master Wayne's parents were murdered, his loyal butler, Alfred, stepped in to help raise him. He even supports Bruce Wayne becoming the Batman, which most employees would have quit over.
Because some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Thanks to Alfred, the Batcave runs smoothly, and Batman's injuries are tended to. We also can't forget Alfred's deadpan, sarcastic delivery at times, and how he's always the voice of reason. No matter what snafu Batman finds him in, Alfred is always there to help bail him out. Give the man a raise, Bruce. Alfred deserves it.
You still haven't given up on me.
Never. Number 4, Sean Maguire, Good Will Hunting. Will Hunting may be a mathematical genius, but he's not exactly the easiest person to get along with. Luckily, Professor Lambeau realizes this and helps Will by making him go to therapy.
Maybe you married the wrong woman.
Maybe you should watch your mouth. Watch it right there, Chief, all right?
Due to Will's prickly nature, his therapist, Sean Maguire, isn't too keen on him. But the two soon realise they can help each other in more ways than one. Sean helps Will confront his demons as well as pursue true love.
About love, probably quote me a sonnet. But you've never looked at a woman and been totally vulnerable.
Will helps Sean move on with his life, which has stalled since the death of his wife. While at times the film is sentimental, it's Sean's belief in Will that eventually pulls him out of the gutter. And isn't that what a true father does, believe in their children?
Sean, if the professor calls about that job, just tell him, sorry. I had to go see about a girl. Will.
Number 3, Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, Marvel Cinematic Universe. Speaking of prodigies, there's no denying Tony Stark's brilliance. Yet, Iron Man did more than build cool suits and help save the world, which is admittedly a lot. He also mentors Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man.
You're in dire need of an upgrade. Systemic, top to bottom. 100-point restoration, that's why I'm here.
Known to Peter as Mr. Stark, Tony first recruits Peter during his tiff with Steve Rogers. Afraid that Mr. Stark will reveal who he really is to Aunt May, Peter agrees to help him.
Tell Aunt Hattie I'm taking her on a field trip.
Don't tell Aunt May.
Tony challenges Peter by believing in his abilities as Spider-Man, sans supersuit.
Sorry I took your seat. I mean, you had it coming. Actually, it turns out it was the perfect sort of tough love moment that you needed, right? To urge you on, right? Wouldn't you think?
And Peter rises to the occasion. And while Mr. Stark tries to come off as the impenetrable Iron Man, he is a big softie when it comes to protecting his Spidey. Number 2, Sirius Black, Harry Potter franchise. Sirius Black is one cool wizard. He has a flying motorcycle, can transform into a massive dog, survived Azkaban, and helped create an entire map of Hogwarts. But his most magical achievement was being a great godfather to Harry Potter.
I expect you're tired of hearing this. But you look so like your father.
Since his parents were murdered and the Dursleys were garbage guardians, Sirius was the first parent Harry could look up to. He keeps up with his godson via owls, providing him with advice Harry sorely needs. He even risks getting caught speaking to Harry through the Gryffindor fireplace.
Sirius, I don't have much time, Harry, so let me get straight to it. Did you or did you not put your name into the goblet of fire?
While at times he does confuse Harry for his father, his former bestie, Sirius tries to be the best surrogate dad he can be.
Once the lovers never really leave us.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Thanos. Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame.
Tears. They're not for him.
You could argue Thanos was a great adoptive father to Gamora. Nah, we're just kidding ya. We all saw how that ended. Number 1, Nariyoshi Keisuke Miyagi, aka Mr. Miyagi, the Karate Kid franchise. Wax on, wax off. When we think of Mr. Miyagi, this is one of the first things we think of.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
There was so much wisdom in Mr. Miyagi's daily lessons beyond just how to properly clean. The wise old handyman teaches Daniel not just karate, but how important it is to train the body and the mind. Mr. Miyagi didn't have an easy life, but he didn't let that turn him evil.
Win, lose, no matter.
Unlike John Kreese, Mr. Miyagi teaches Daniel how important it is to respect not just others, but yourself. Thanks for the life lessons, Mr. Miyagi.
Happy birthday to you. Hey, make wish.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.